You ever get the fishing DTs? Like, I mean, you just really want to go fishing. I've got them bad today. It's been a while since I've been on the water. Been super busy, you know, just with stuff in life. So it's been a minute since I've been on the water, and I'm eager to get on the water today. I'm making an afternoon trip, gonna fish a falling tide. I really kind of wanted to fish this morning because this tide should have been falling for a while, but I had a dentist appointment. How do my teeth look? Anyway, so I'm making an afternoon trip. Tide may be low. I'm hoping I can intercept some of that fall. Should be able to. I think it's going to change after dark. My only concern about right now, and that's always a concern, fishing southeast Louisiana in the summertime, is there is a ton of energy in the skies right now. All these clouds are going to collect into thunderstorms. I know that. I'm just hoping they don't collect anywhere that I want to fish. Fingers crossed, we'll find out. Come along with me, let's see. All right, I made a long, bumpy ride, but now I'm on site. Water clarity is just okay, not the best. I'm on the edge of a big lake, and it seems like this tide is definitely falling here, but the water coming out of the backwater marsh is not pretty. What's unaffected by the backwater marsh in this lake is real nice. So the water coming out with this falling tide is dirty. So I'm gonna work this shoreline. We're just at the beginning of the fall. The tide rose longer than it should have because of this stiff east wind we have. And you can see the water's back in the grass. So I definitely like fishing these lake shorelines when that's the case. I'm gonna start with this Candy Bug Zimmer swimmer. I got that on a 1/4 ounce death grip jig head. What I really wanna find out today is if any trout have moved into the marsh. You know, this is when I start really finding some fishable numbers of trout after we pass the midway point in August. Not every year, sometimes it's not until September, but this is about the earliest that I start seeing them typically. So I really want to see if we can find some trout. And of course, I'll take some flounder and some reds, anything that wants to bite. Water temp in here is 92 degrees, 92.5, 92.7. That's really hot. Fall cannot get here soon enough. See these little pockets like this with this point right here. That's just such a fishy looking area. I love stuff like that on these shorelines. Much more preferable than just a flat shoreline. And with this falling tide, I'll definitely hit drains. Although I'm less optimistic with the drains with this dirty water coming out of the marsh. Don't know why it's so dirty. We've not had a whole lot of wind. This area may have gotten a whole lot of rain yesterday. It might have dirtied things up. It looks like water coming out of a drain up here. You can see the tide pushing against that wind, causing that surface to be really ruffled. A lot of bait in here, goodness. Just seeing that, a bunch of bait. That's really good. I can see it in the water. I can't tell what it is, but it almost looks like pogies. See them flipping. Yeah, it's flipping like pogies. I think that's what it is. Oh, shoot, that was a hit. He was hooked up for a few seconds. Don't know what he was. Could have been a ladyfish. Lots of ladies around this time of year, always. 92 degree water in August. Oh, goodness, that's a good hit. That's no lady. You're no lady. I'm guessing redfish, although it could possibly be a flounder. No, it's a red. It's a redfish. He smoked the Zimmer swimmer. I'm pretty sure he's a keeper red. Come on, dude. He's got it deep for sure. All right, we got him. Let's get off the shoreline. Yeah, he's definitely a keeper. That's a good fish. Look how fat that fish is. Croaking male. Look how fat he is. Look at this fish. Look at that belly. You know, I saw all that bait over there, all those pogies. I'm guessing that's what he's got in his belly. But he took the Zimmer swimmer deep. Gonna be a tough one to get out. All right, this dude's going in the box. We're taking him home. He will be dinner. Kind of doubling back to see if there's any other fish there. He hit so aggressively. Makes you think there might be some others. But you never know. Could have been a Lone Ranger. He's just sitting there feeding, kind of on the edge of that little drain that we saw. That was one of those no doubt about it hits, the kind you love to get when you're fishing a jig. Donk. You know, sometimes you get those little sissy hits, and you know when you set the hook, there's not gonna be anything there. That was one of those you knew it was gonna be there. He wanted that bait. Oh, I missed him. Boy, was that quite a great hit. Hit me out close to the boat. Smoked it. Could have been a lady. Lady fish, they're super frenetic. They definitely do miss the bait a lot. You get a lot of hits relative to hookups. Oh goodness, I saw that fish come up and hit it. Oh my goodness. He darted out from the edge of that marsh and smacked that Zimmer swimmer. Dude, that was so intense. That was awesome. Yeah, I know. Oh, dude, that was crazy. That was so awesome to see. Rubber Stamper, the one we just caught, not nearly as fat. This is a skinny fish. And you can tell the real muted brown color. He's not orange at all. He probably came from that backwater marsh, which, as we noted, is a lot dirtier. He destroyed my Zimmer swimmer, but it was well worth it. I got plenty. Yeah, I just love this situation for targeting reds on these lake shorelines. High tide at the beginning of a fall. I just love it. It's just good. And I do think if this water were prettier, we'd also be bumping into some trout. And I'm hopeful we do, but water's just off. And you know, it's definitely harder to catch trout in off-colored water. They do use their lateral lines to sense vibration of bait, but they really like to see it. Redfish kind of don't care as much. They're more into using their lateral lines and also their noses. Not that they'd use a nose to find the Zimmer swimmer, but definitely that lateral line to sense the vibration. But even having said all that, I'm definitely hopeful we run across some trout. Time check is 3:40. Sunset today is 7:40. So we do have a little while to fish. Uh-oh, hearing some thunder. Doesn't seem to be very close. I do see one storm in the distance to the north. It's another cut here. Got some dirty water coming out of it, but I'm a sucker for a cut. Can't help but fish it. Oh, all right, so where this water's especially dirty, I'm gonna make some casts with this green gizzard Bill Lewis ATV. It's a much louder bait that the fish should definitely be able to dial in on a little bit better. Still gonna throw that Zimmer swimmer though, where the water looks better. Oh, there we go. Second cast. Second cast. Oh, another red. I saw him. I got a glimpse of him. Look how beautiful. I don't know if this fish is a keeper or not. We'll hopefully get the check, but still, it was a great hit. Oh, we're gonna check. He's actually nicer than I thought he was. A lot nicer than I thought he was. He's also prettier. Look how much prettier this fish is than the other one. Man, that's a really, really pretty red. That was my second cast with the ATV. This bait's been so hot for me in the past few weeks. Oh, goodness. Redfish have to be 18 inches in Louisiana. And this guy's 18 and a half, so he's coming home. Yeah, this Bill Lewis ATV has been just such a great redfish producer for me in recent weeks. Really throughout this whole summer. This bait dives maybe about 18 inches or so. I don't know what it is. I think it looks like a crab to them. They just love this bait. They crush it when they hit it. I love fishing it. And if you've been watching the channel in recent weeks, you know I don't fish this thing like most people fish a crankbait. I twitch it. Twitch it, twitch it, twitch it. I fish it like a jerkbait. I think that makes it look even more like a crab. It kind of does that in the water and stops and does that. And you know, it just kind of looks like a crab trying to flee from a predator. And these redfish are always loaded with little crabs in their bellies. Running across a good amount of snodgrass. It's kind of a pain, but I'm always glad to see it. It's very fishy. Fish love it. Here's the next cut, and water's just absolutely dumping out of it. I can't tell if it's dirty yet. I suspect it is, but it looks like a job for the Zimmer swimmer. Yeah, this water's dirty, but man, is it bait rich. Oh goodness, that was a good hit. All kinds of bait up here in this corner. It's where you expect game fish to ambush this bait. Check out this point. Oh, there we go. There we go. I don't know what it is. Redfish maybe? No, trout. Yeah, it looks like a trout. There we go. Looks like a decent trout too. I mean, at least a keeper. That's good to see. Come on, dude, stay on. Stay on. You're in. Unlucky for you. Pretty sure he's a keeper, but we're gonna check him. If not, we'll stick a tag, Louisiana.net tag in him and let him go. He's just a hair short. He felt big pulling him against that current, but he's a little bit undersized. We stuck a tag in him. We're gonna let him go. But glad to see there are some trout around. There's one. Oh, I think that's a red. I think that's a red. He keeps breaking the surface though, but I don't think he's a trout. We got to see if we can get him around this point. Is he a flounder? He could be a flounder. I think he's a red though. That's my bet. Oh yeah, he's a red. Absolutely. All right, rubber stamp of what we're catching today. Another fish that's less colorful. Definitely came from that backwater marsh. About 19, maybe 20 inches. That means he's perfect eating size. That fish was off this point in that eddy. We got this ditch draining right here, rushing water out, and it's eddying right there. And that's where those fish are holding. This current's probably just too swift from the holding the actual current. They're just holding off that point and ambushing bait as it comes out. He's in the same spot that speckled trout was. Ah, look at that. I hate when that happens. Got the whole bait. Here's those Zimmer swimmers. This is the package it comes in. It's made by Z's Tackle. What makes this bait so good, two things. This hook tail, I've gotten this thing in a pool and it just absolutely looks so good. And also it's ribbed, so it's got a ton of vibration in the water. And you know, that's definitely, as we talked about earlier, important for redfish. The very, very first time I fished with this bait, I really couldn't believe it. It was like an instant favorite right away. And you know, if you watch the channel a lot, I use this thing all the time. Very high confidence bait for me, because fish just destroy it. They just love it. Uh-oh, got a nice snag. Must be a sign from God. It's time to move on. All right, we're gonna work the shoreline again, so back to the ATV. So you've heard me talk before about that salt strong free fishing forecast. That's one of the things I rely on to tell me whether or not to go on a particular day. Well, the strike score for today, which is kind of a summation of all of the different variables, was a 7.5. That's really good. It's on a 10 scale, so 7.5 out of 10 is good. So I expected good action. There's lots of invaluable information on that thing. You get sunrise, sunset, wind forecast, both strength and direction. You got moonrise, moonset, you got the major, you got the minor, and it even gives you a rating for each hour as to how the fishing should be during that hour. Historically, I've never paid a ton. Oh, goodness. What is that? I don't know what that's not a red. Oh, I take that back. It is a red, just not a big one. Love seeing little guys like this for obvious reasons. Got to have these to get the big ones. All right, this guy's plenty big enough to carry a tag, so we're gonna put one in him. All right, dude, grow up and bite again. I hope to see you again one day. But I was saying, I historically never put much stock into like salooner tables. Big old gar just came up. But I've really kind of changed my tune on that. There's no doubt they do have some effect. Doesn't mean you can't catch fish when the salooner table says it's not a major or minor, of course. It also doesn't mean you're guaranteed to catch fish when it's a major or minor. But if you're in a place where there are fish and it's a major, you're probably gonna catch fish. So if you wanna check out that free Salt Strong product, I've got a link in my video description. I'm gonna keep it in there. And as I mentioned, it's totally free. I think you get the next 3 days for free. You can pay a little bit to get, you know, like as much as you want. Oh, goodness. That dude knocked slack into the line. Literally, he knocked slack into the line. He must have charged at the bait and swam right at me. The only reason I knew I had a fish was because I completely lost contact with my lure. Crazy. That's just so awesome, man. What a day. What a day. I'll never cease to be amazed at how differently these fish fight. Like, this is a rubber stamp of what we're catching. It's a 19, 20-inch fish, but he is just, he's cuckoo. Like, he does not want to be captured at all. What he doesn't know is that we're not taking him home because we already got a limit. State of Louisiana says we're done for the day, so we're in tagging mode. I generally don't flip fish with crankbaits, but I don't really care if we lose him. Another big old giant fat fish. So awesome. All right, we got a tag in this guy. We got to let him go. There he goes. He swam off. It's just as good as it gets today. I think this little bit of a stain in this water is definitely keeping down our trout catches, but clearly not our redfish. They're feeding quite aggressively. 7.5 strike score, I'll take it. So a good buddy of mine fishes the redfish tournaments. He and I were talking a couple weeks ago, and there were no, 18, 19, 20, 21-inch reds around. They weren't seeing them at all. None of the tournament anglers were seeing those fish in any of the ponds. And then just a few weeks ago, all of a sudden they showed up everywhere. It's kind of crazy because, like, you wonder where those fish were. They didn't all of a sudden grow up to that size, of course. They were nowhere, and then they were everywhere. It's just so fascinating. I don't have an answer. I don't have a theory, but I'm definitely finding it as well. Lots and lots and lots of 18 to 21-inch reds. They're just all over the place. Very few, or at least in my experience, very few unders. Under 18. I mean, you get some, obviously, some 17 and a half, some 17, an occasional little small fish like that one I just caught. But mostly it's really my favorite size of red to catch, 18 to 21 inches. I can't explain the trend. I'm just glad it is a trend. Glad those fish have shown up. Oh, there we go. What is that? Well, I was just saying, you know, seldom catching unders. And here's an under. He's bigger than that other one we caught, but certainly not a keeper. Probably about 13 inches, I'd say. All right, dude, don't bite until you're legal. Another cut coming up with some water absolutely rushing out of it. All right, we're at this cut, so I'm gonna switch back to the Zimmer swimmer. Water just cascading out of that marsh. Oh, goodness, that was quite a hit. Probably a lady. Or a small trout, maybe. What is that? I think that's a speck. Oh, it sure was a speck. Just wasn't a keeper. He was a tagger. It's not a keeper. Well, that's a trout. I don't think. He's gonna be between 12 and 13. I'm pretty sure. Dude, if you chill, I'll let you swim again. See you next year, or maybe in the fall. I'm getting lots of hits right there. There's a ton of bait, but I think it's just a lot of trout that size. Oh, like that. They're almost legal. That one's 12 and a half. Would have been legal a couple years ago. If you're from out of town, the legal limit in Louisiana, oh goodness, it's 13 inches. They gotta be 13 to keep. Oh, that's a 13 incher. Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe he's not. I thought for sure he was when he jumped. Yeah, I think he's short. He's a tagger. All right, dude. Thanks for the fight. Appreciate the thought. Now, I suspect these fish that we're catching, these trout, spent the summer inside. I don't think these are fish that moved in yet. If I caught a 13, you know, really even beyond that, 14, 15, 16 incher, that to me would be a fish that came in from the outside, migrated early. Oh, another one. And I got a rod tip wrap, but he's still hooked up. This fish would not have kept even last year. Well, he wasn't even born last year, but one this size would not have even kept before the limit change. He's not even 12. Yeah, I'm getting a bite absolutely every cast. Just not big fish. The good thing is, you know, I love tagging fish. If you tag enough of them, you're gonna get those returns, and you get to find out where those fish go. Such valuable information. So I kind of don't mind doing this. Are you gonna keep? I think you might. I think you might. You got the best shot. Nope. Goodness. Where are all the big ones? I know where all the big ones are. They're just not in the marsh. That'll change. That'll absolutely change over the next few days. Not even weeks, just a few days. Some chasing a shrimp way out there. I don't think I can even reach it. What are you? Oh gosh, dang it. Oh, another one got it. That looks like a little better trout, maybe, I don't know. I keep saying it. Now I'm having some second thoughts on that statement. That's just what we've been catching. 12 and a half. 12 and a half. There's a million of them out there. You don't even warrant a measure or a tag. Gonna be a good fall, because all those fish are gonna be legal. They're gonna be joined by the fish that come in from outside. All right, I'm gonna throw this holy jolly matrix shad on a 16th ounce death grip jig head. I got that on a Versamax Pro Max. Just wanna see what we can do with a cork out there, right in that eddy. All right, here we go. Are you any bigger? I think you're about the same. I think you're about the same. Well, that didn't take long, but I mean, the fish are what they are. There's no way of catching bigger ones. I just don't think they're there. Oh, missed him. Didn't miss that one. I mean, he feels big, but I can't tell because I'm pulling against that current. He's going crazy, I know that. All right, our first keeper, I don't know. I'm pretty certain, yeah, that's our first keeper. I'm gonna say he's 13. Come on, dude. Don't make a liar out of me. Don't make a liar out of me. Nothing else, you're gonna get a tag, so. He's getting a tag. Get out there and grow. Doesn't have to grow much, that one, he was close. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. What an absolutely fantastic fishing day here in the marshes of South Louisiana. It just doesn't get a whole lot better. Actually, you know what? It is gonna get better because these temperatures are gonna cool off over the next few weeks and the fish are just gonna go crazy. I don't know how it's gonna be a whole lot better than today, but you know, fall fishing is just the best fishing of the year. It's when they're easiest to find. They're absolutely everywhere. And I'm so glad to see how many small trout, undersized trout admittedly, are around because they grow so quickly. So much white shrimp in the marsh right now. They're just gobbling every day, growing like weeds, getting really big. And by the time fall fishing arrives, they're all gonna be keepers. And you know, these reds, like we talked about, lots of 18 to 21 inch reds around. They're gonna grow as well, but they're already in the slide. So they're already harvestable. For those of you who like to take fish home like I do, you know, I like to tag and release fish, obviously, but I also love to eat fish. Definitely love to take some home. Baits of the day, two of them, of course. The Zimmer Swimmer, 1/4 ounce death grip jig head. This is the candy bug color. This is probably the color I fish the most. It's good in really clear water. It's also good in stained water like we had today. It's the one I go to most often. I also fish that California 420 and that Glass Blast, that color that I invented a few months ago. It's also great. You want to fish that one in ultra clear water. That's when it really shines. The other bait of the day, Bill Lewis ATV. Certainly been the hottest bait for me this summer. No question about it. I don't see it slowing down this fall. As I mentioned, this bait looks like a crab to the redfish, or at least that's my assumption. Plenty of crabs around in the fall, so I know they're going to continue to hit this, probably even more aggressively as water temps continue to fall, or when they begin to fall, because right now it's what, 93-degree water today, super hot. This will even get better in the next few weeks. Oh, and I know a lot of you ask what rods I fish. This Zimmer Swimmer I fish on an Akuma X series. This is a medium power rod. I absolutely love it. This is by far my favorite rod. This is the one I jig with. If you held this rod and fish with it, you would see why it's absolutely so awesome. Super, super sensitive, very, very light. It's literally the best rod I've ever fished with. I also love this rod. This is an Akuma Tournament Concept. This is the one designed for crankbaits and jerkbaits. This is a much less expensive rod than this is. And for the value, for the price, this is an outstanding rod. In fact, for years, that's all I fished was this Tournament Concept. But when I got my hands on this X series, I ordered a couple more because they're just such great rods. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Definitely had a blast putting it together. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And until next time, if we don't see you in this incredibly productive, beautiful marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.